Alright, you lot. Today we're jumping headfirst into a remaster at 1986 classic that root roost before Sonic even laced up his first pair of sneakers. That's right, Alex Kidd was Sega's golden child before Blue Blur came along and nicked spotlight. But that's remastered captured magic, or is it just a case of polishing a fossil? Let's find out. But first, smash that like button, hit subscribe and all that bollocks. Keeps the channel alive and stops me from having to flip burgers to fund these rants. Right, let's dive in. Let's start with basics. Alex Kidd in Miracle World is a remaster at Sega's 1986 platformer, a game that predates most of you kids, including Sonic Hedgehog, who didn't show up until 1991. Back in the day, Alex Kidd what kid everyone wanted to be, punching boulders, riding motorbikes and challenging random blokes to games of rock, paper, scissors to save a kingdom. I mean, who needs logic when you got fists of steel and a questionable haircut, right? Story? Classic retro nonsense. Yet martial arts prodigy Alex Kidd, who's on a mission to save Kingdom of Redaxium from evil Jankant Grey, a bloke whose name sounds like a dodgy off-brand superhero. Along the way, you'll punch your way through everything from forests and volcanoes to underwater caves, all while collecting gold, power-ups and more lives than a cat on steroids. Gameplay-wise, it's your typical side-scrolling platformer. Think Super Mario Bros, but swap fireballs for a punch that can break walls. And your spirit, not careful. But unlike Mario, Alex Kidd don't get an easy ride. Every jump's a risk, every enemy's a potential rage quit, and every mistake, yeah, you're starting that level all over again, mate. To put it into perspective, Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX feels like Sega's cheeky nod to gamers who think modern games are too easy. It's a trial by fire, proper get good experience wrapped in colourful sprites and chipper music. Now let's talk visual. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX takes pixelated charm at 1986 original and gives it a full modern makeover. Think of it as giving your old Nokia brick phone a fresh coat of paint and turning it into a shiny smartphone. Same spirit, but way prettier. Hand-drawn art style breathes new life into the world of Redaxium, with vibrant colours and smooth animations that feel like a Saturday morning cartoon. But it's kicker. The game lets you swap between remastered graphics and original 8-bit style with single press of a button. A nice touch. Sure, but it's also a harsh reminder of how far we've come since days when every character looked like a Lego minifigure. Fancy getting nostalgic for 1986? Boom, one press and you're back in pixel heaven. Or hell, depending on your tolerance for retro aesthetics. Level design stays faithful to original, which is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, you got those iconic stages that old school fans will recognise in a heartbeat. On other, they've preserved the same infuriating pitfalls and enemy placements that'll have you shouting obscenities at screen like it's 1986 all over again. Lighting effects and parallax scrolling get remastered a sense of depth that were unheard of back in the day. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX is a side-scrolling platformer with precision and patience at name it game. And when I say patience, I mean kind of patience you need to watch paint dry while babysitting a room full of hyperactive toddlers. This game don't hold your hand. No checkpoints, no safety nets, just pure unadulterated punishment for your mistakes. Let's start with control. I won't sugarcoat it, Alex moves like he's been coated in butter, controls are floating, and platforming can feel imprecise, which is a recipe for rage when you're trying to navigate game's pixel-perfect jumps. You'll probably find yourself muttering, "Bloody hell, Alex, just land where I want you to," more times than you'd like. Combat? Well, it's a mixed bag. Punching through enemies and blocks is oddly satisfying, like smashing bubble wrap, but it's far from perfect. Hitboxes can be a bit dodgy, and sometimes it feels like you're swinging at thin air while enemies happily stroll through your attacks to ruin your day. And don't even get me started on rock, paper, scissors boss battles. It's less about skill and more about praying to RNG gods that Janken don't wreck you with a random hand gesture. Objectives stick close to old school simplicity. Get from point A to point B, bash a few enemies, collect some gold and don't die. That said, game does sprinkle in a few vehicles, like iconic motorbike and helicopter to mix things up. It's a nice change of pace, though the control about as well as a shopping trolley with a broken wheel. Replayability? Well, if you're a masochist who enjoys reliving your failures, this game has plenty of it. Remaster includes some extra levels and hidden collectibles, but let's be real, most players will be too busy trying to survive main game to care about 100% completion. In short, gameplay is a love letter to retro gamers who crave a challenge. But if you're used to modern conveniences like checkpoints and fluid controls, prepare for a baptism by fire. Now let's crank up volume and talk about sound design in Alex Kidd and Miracle World DX. First off, soundtrack. Absolute ear candy. It's like hearing your favourite childhood lullaby performed by a full orchestra. Except this lullaby is here to mock you as you repeatedly fall into bottomless pits. Remastered tracks are vibrant and energetic, perfectly matching the game's colourful aesthetic. But here's where things get fun. You can toggle back to original 8-bit audio. Fancy blasting your eardrums with that old school bleeper blooper chart. One press and you're transported back to time when game soundtracks were composed on something that sounded like a frying pan in a thunderstorm. It's a nostalgia trip, though prolonged exposure might have you reaching for mute button. Sound effects? Well, they're serviceable but not groundbreaking. Punching blocks is a satisfying thwack. Collecting coins gives that classic arcade-style ping, and enemy deaths deliver a cheerful little pop. It's not exactly groundbreaking, but it gets job done without feeling intrusive. Now there's no voice acting to analyse here, not that I'd want to hear Alex grunting or delivering cringe-worthy one-liners every time he punches a wall. The game keeps it simple, and honestly, that works in its favour. You don't need dramatic dialogue when gameplay itself is busy trying to humble you into submission. Real star here is where music shifts to match environment. Underwater levels feature a more tranquil tune, while volcanic stages hit with fiery, fast-paced beats that'll have your heart racing faster than Alex's motorbike. It's a subtle touch, but it makes a big difference keeping you immersed in game's world. So does audio hit right notes? Absolutely. Soundtrack alone is worth a listen, even if gameplay makes you want to hurl your controller through a wall. But can game's technical performance keep up with its audio quality? Well, let's talk about how well does Alex Kidd in Miracle World actually run. For a game that isn't exactly pushing boundaries of modern hardware, you'd expect it to be smoother than a butter and hot crumpet. I have game running at a crisp 240 FPS, with no noticeable frame drop, even when screens packed with enemies, coins and breakable blocks flying about like confetti in a budget wedding. As for bugs, there aren't any, thankfully. You won't find yourself clipping through walls or crashing back to desktop, which is always a relief in today's age of half-baked game releases. Developers clearly put some effort into polishing this remaster. Now let's talk about load time. They're practically non-existent, which is great for keeping pace at game intact. You die, and you will die, and you're right back into action within seconds. No time to stew in your frustration, which is probably a blessing for your blood pressure. Developers have also been fairly responsive with updates and patches, which is always a good sign. Any issues players reported early on seem to have been addressed. So credit where credit's due, they didn't just dump this remaster on market and leg it. Overall, game's technical performance is solid. So who's Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX for? Simple. You're a sucker for retro gaming, love a good challenge, or just want to experience pixel punishing classic that paved way for Sega's platforming legacy. This one's for you. Hardcore fans will revel in nostalgia, while newcomers might find themselves rage quitting faster than they can say jankin'. But here's the thing, for all its infuriating moments, this remaster has charmed by bucket load. It's a love letter to an era when games didn't care about holding your hand. Instead, they slapped you in face, stole your lunch money, and dared you to come back for more. Pros? Beautiful hand-drawn visuals that perfectly update classic look. Killer remastered soundtrack that gets your nostalgia flowing. Instant toggle between modern and retro graphics like time travel for gamers. Faithful level design with some modern flourishes and bonus content. Challenging gameplay that's as rewarding as it is punishing. Cons? Slippery controls that make precision platforming a nightmare. Dodgy hitboxes that'll have you shouting, "That didn't bloody hit me!" Rock, paper, scissors boss battles that feel more like a joke than a mechanic. Occasional input lag and minor bugs, but not game breaking. That brutal difficulty curve, definitely not for everyone. Final score? 9 out of 10. It's a beautifully crafted remaster that stays true to its roots while offering just enough modern polish to justify its existence. Sure, it's tough as nails and occasionally frustrating, but that's part of the charm. So, should you play it? Hardcore retro fans and gluttons for punishment? Absolutely. Casual players? Well, you've been warned. Either way, Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX is a gem worth smashing blocks for. Now pull your dash off to punch some virtual boulders or rage at your screen. Here's the deal. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to ring bell icon so you never miss a single rant, review, or moment to me losing my mind over games like this. Want to be part of Inner Circle? Join Discord server where real banter happens. Hop in and chat with other legends about gaming, life, or which game we should tackle next. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for spicy texts, updates, and occasional meme dump. Oh, and consider joining channel memberships for exclusive perks like early access to videos and shout-out. All links you need are in the description below. Leave your comments or questions below. I might just feature them in a future video. And I'll see you next time, you magnificent.